Amazing facts about the world today. Kindly hit the subscribe button for more videos and don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting. 10 animals with superpowers. Number 1. Chameleon. The chameleon are a distinctive and highly specialized clade of old world lizards with about 202 species all over the world. These species come in a range of colors, and many species have the ability to change color. A chameleon's ability to change color in a fraction of a second is surely the closest thing to a magic act in nature. Chameleons change color by changing the space between the guanine crystals, which changes the wavelength of light reflected off the crystals, which changes the color of the skin. Some species, such as Smith's dwarf chameleon, adjust their colors for camouflage in accordance with the vision of the specific predator species, bird or snake, by which they are being threatened. Number 2. Mimic octopus. The mimic octopus is an Indo-Pacific species of octopus from the Indo-Pacific region. Like other octopuses, it uses its chromatophores to disguise itself with its background. However, it is noteworthy for being able to impersonate a wide variety of other marine animals. Mimic octopuses have been observed mimicking numerous different species of animals, some animals being mimicked more often than others. Among the animals mimicked are lionfish. The mimic octopus retains the ability to camouflage with its sandy environment. It was also observed to mimic sessile animals such as small sponges, tubeworm tubes, or colonial tunicates. The octopus may be able to intelligently use its mimicry based on the situation. For example, an octopus which was being harassed by damselfish mimicked a banded sea snake. A damselfish predator, it decides which mimicry behavior would be most appropriate and acts upon it. Number 3. Gerridae. The Gerridae are a family of insects, commonly known as water striders, water skeeters, water scooters, water bugs, pond skaters, water skippers, Jesus bugs, or water skimmers. They are anatomically built to transfer their weight to be able to run on top of the water's surface. Water striders are able to walk on top of water due to a combination of several factors. Water striders use the high surface tension of water and long, hydrophobic legs to help them stay above water. The tiny hairs on the legs provide both the hydrophobic surface as well as a larger surface area to spread their weight over the water. The middle legs used for rowing have particularly well-developed fringed hairs on the tibia and tarsus to help increase movement through the ability to thrust. The hind pair of legs are used for steering when the rowing stroke begins. The middle tarsi of gerrids are quickly pressed down and backwards to create a circular surface wave in which the crest can be used to propel a forward thrust. The semicircular wave created is essential to the ability of the water strider to move rapidly, since it acts as a counteracting force to push against. As a result, water striders often move at 1 meter per second or faster. Number 4. Snapping shrimp. The snapping shrimp is characterized by having asymmetrical claws, the larger of which is typically capable of producing a loud snapping sound. When in colonies, the snapping shrimp can interfere with sonar and underwater communication. The shrimp are considered a major source of noise in the ocean. The snapping shrimp competes with much larger animals such as the sperm whale and beluga whale for the title of loudest animal in the sea. The animal snaps a specialized claw shut to create a cavitation bubble that generates acoustic pressures of up to 80 kPa at a distance of 4 cm from the claw. As it extends out from the claw, the bubble reaches speeds of 100 km per hour and releases a sound reaching 218 decibels. The pressure is strong enough to kill small fish. The snap can also produce sonoluminescence from the collapsing cavitation bubble. As it collapses, the cavitation bubble reaches temperatures of over 4,700 degrees Celsius. In comparison, the surface temperature of the Sun is estimated to be around 5,500 degrees Celsius. The light is of lower intensity than the light produced by typical sonoluminescence and is not visible to the naked eye. The snapping is used for hunting as well as for communication. When hunting, the shrimp usually lies in an obscured spot, such as a burrow. The shrimp then extends its antennae outwards to determine if any fish are passing by. Once it feels movement, the shrimp inches out of its hiding place, pulls back its claw, and releases a shot which stuns the prey. The shrimp then pulls it to the burrow and feeds on it. Number 5. Mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimps are marine crustaceans of the order Stomatopoda, and what makes them amazing is their supervision and claws. The eyes of the mantis shrimp are mounted on mobile stalks and can move independently of each other. They are thought to have the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom and have the most complex visual system ever discovered. Compared to the 3 types of photoreceptor cells that humans possess in their eyes, the eyes of a mantis shrimp have between 12 and 16 types of photoreceptor cells. Furthermore, some of these shrimp can tune the sensitivity of their long wavelength color vision to adapt to their environment. The mantis shrimp's claws has been adapted for powerful close-range combat with high modifications. They strike by rapidly unfolding and swinging their raptorial claws at the prey, and can inflict serious damage on victims significantly greater in size than themselves. 2 weapons are employed with blinding quickness. with an acceleration of 102,000 ms2 or 335,000 fts2, and speeds of 83 km per hour, from a standing start. Because they strike so rapidly, they generate vapor-filled bubbles in the water between the appendage and the striking surface, known as cavitation bubbles. The collapse of these cavitation bubbles produces measurable forces on their prey in addition to the instantaneous forces of 1,500 newtons that are caused by the impact of the appendage against the striking surface, which means that the prey is hit twice by a single strike, first by the claw and then by the collapsing cavitation bubbles that immediately follow. Number 6. Electric eel. The electric eel is a South American electric fish. It is being classified as the only species in its genus despite the name. It is not an eel, but rather a nifferfish. The electric eel has 3 pairs of abdominal organs that produce electricity: the main organ, the hunter's organ, and the Sachs organ. These organs make up 4/5 of its body, and give the electric eel the ability to generate 2 types of electric organ discharges: low voltage and high voltage. In the electric eel, some 5,000 to 6,000 stacked electroplaques can make a shock up to 860 volts and up to 1 ampere of current. This level of current is reportedly enough to produce a brief and painful numbing shock likened to a stun gun discharge, which due to the voltage can be felt for some distance from the fish. This is a common risk for aquarium caretakers and biologists attempting to handle or examine electric eels. When the eel finds its prey, the brain sends a signal through the nervous system to the electrocytes. This opens the ion channels, allowing sodium to flow through, reversing the polarity momentarily. Electric eels use electricity in multiple ways. Low voltages are used to sense the surrounding environment. High voltages are used to detect prey and separately stun them. Pairs of high voltage pulses separated by 2 milliseconds are used to detect and locate prey by causing them to twitch involuntarily. The electric eel senses this movement. A string of high voltage pulses at up to 400 per second are then used to attack and stun or paralyze the target, at which point the electric eel applies a suction feeding bite. Number 7. Peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon, also known as the peregrine, and historically as the duck hawk in North America, is a widespread bird of prey, raptor, in the family Falconidae. A large, crow-sized falcon, it has a blue-gray back, barred-white underparts, and a black head. The peregrine is renowned for its speed, reaching over 320 km per hour during its characteristic hunting stoop, high-speed dive, making it the fastest bird in the world, as well as the fastest member of the animal kingdom. The peregrine falcon reaches faster speeds than any other animal on the planet when performing the stoop, which involves soaring to a great height and then diving steeply at speeds of over 320 km per hour, hitting one wing of its prey so as not to harm itself on impact. The air pressure from such a dive could possibly damage a bird's lungs, but small bony tubercles on a falcon's nostrils are theorized to guide the powerful airflow away from the nostrils, enabling the bird to breathe more easily while diving by reducing the change in air pressure. To protect their eyes, the falcons use their nictitating membranes, third eyelids, to spread tears and clear debris from their eyes while maintaining vision. Number 8. Dung beetle. Dung beetles are beetles that feed on fesses. Some species of dung beetles can bury dung 250 times their own mass in one night. Some dung beetles are amazingly super strong, that even a small ball of fresh dung can be hefty to push, weighing 50 times the weight of the determined dung beetle. Male dung beetles need exceptional strength, not just for pushing dung balls but also for fending off male competitors. The individual strength record goes to a male Omphiphagus taurus dung beetle, which pulled a load equivalent to 1,141 times its own body weight. How does this compare to human feats of strength? This would be like a 150-pound person pulling 80 tons. This makes dung beetle the strongest animal in the world. Number 9. Salmon. Salmon are a species of fish considered anadromous, which means they live in both fresh and salt water. They are born in fresh water where they spend a few months to a few years, depending on the species, before moving out to the ocean. When it's time to spawn, they head back to fresh water. The amazing thing about salmon fishes is their super GPS navigation system. They travel as far 3,000 kilometers or more and are still able to return back home where they born. If you enslave a salmon fish far away from its home and later puts it back into the ocean, they can use their super abilities to return back to their foraging grounds. They have the ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field, which enables them navigate with ease. Number 10. The elephant. Elephants are mammals of the family Elephantidae and the largest existing land animals. They are well renowned for the power in their trunk. An elephant has around 40,000 muscles in its trunk alone, which can be used for pulling almost 9 tons, 9,000 kg. A sneak peek into our history will show how elephants were such a great advantage in wars. Elephants were armed with batteries